Ladies and gentlemen, may I please request you to rise for the Indonesia's national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. Once again, good morning. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the Expo 2020 Dubai Business Forum Indonesia Halal Markets, home for Halal Business International Promotion 2022. This is Iman Ali, research analyst at Dinar Standard and a lead author of the Indonesia Halal Market Report 2021-2022. And it is my great honor to be your master of ceremony for today. First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our distinguished guests. Deputy Governor of Bank Indonesia, Mr. Yuda Agun. Consul General Indonesia in Dubai, UAE, Mr. Chandra Negara. Head of Sharia Economic and Finance Department of Indonesia, Mr. Arif Hartawan. CEO and Managing Director of Dinar Standard, Mr. Rafiuddin Shiko. Chairman of Indonesia Fashion Chamber, Mr. Ali Karisma. Corporate Affairs Director of PT Lulu Group Retail, Mr. Lutfi Hussain. Chairman Indonesia Halal Lifestyle, Mr. Sapta Nirwander. And also for all our ladies and gentlemen that are joining our session today. Thank you for joining us on this great day. So, today's forum aims to provide us with more awareness on Indonesia's potential for the halal industry and its large global market opportunities. We will also be given more insights on how the global community, particularly the UAE, United Arab Emirates, can leverage these opportunities for mutual benefit. We also look forward to more updates on the ongoing efforts to strengthen regulations and the halal industry's ecosystem in line with the recommendations presented in the Indonesia Halal Markets Report 2021-2022. And on that note, the Indonesia Halal Markets Report 2021-2022 can be downloaded, as you can see from the link shown on your screens. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further delays, let's begin our event. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our keynote speaker, Deputy Governor of Bank Indonesia His Excellency, Mr. Yuda Agung.
Thank you, Iman Ali. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Consul General Indonesia in Dubai, UAE, Mr. Chandra Negara, Honorable Chairman of Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center, Mr. Sapta Nirwandar, Honorable Chairman of Dinar Standard, Mr. Rafiuddin Sikoh, distinguished speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his blessings that we all could gather here at the International Business Forum with the theme Indonesia Halal Market, home for halal business. Peace and greetings be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is a great pleasure for me to be here today among distinguished speakers and enthusiastic participants. Let me first thank the Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center for providing excellent collaboration and support to the success of the International Business Forum as part of Bank Indonesia Special Week in Dubai World Expo 2020. On this meaningful occasion, I will briefly convey several notes. First, the Indonesia economy recovery updates. Second, on the potential of halal industry in Indonesia. Third, the policy strategies of Bank Indonesia and other agencies in promoting halal industry in Indonesia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to start with the Indonesia economic recovery updates. Indonesia economic growth is forecasted to accelerate in 2020. The latest indicators released in December last year, 2021, point to a faster recovery process. Public mobility is getting normal, retail sales and consumer confidence indicators are also increasing. Overall, the national economy growth will be was 3.69% last year. And going forward, the economic growth is projected to accelerate in the range of 4.7 to 5.5% on the back of stronger private consumption, solid export performance, and better investment. The growth projection is supported by increasing public mobility, given the faster vaccination program rollout, broader reopening of economic sectors, and ongoing policy stimulus. The major economic sectors such as manufacturing, industry, trade, construction, and agriculture continue to gain momentum. We also expect tourism sector will also be gaining momentum with the mobility normalization. As you might be aware, next week, Indonesia will organize the Indonesian MotoGP series at the newly established Mandalika circuit in Lombok Island, which I believe will accelerate the tourism activities in Indonesia. In the medium term, Indonesia economy is also predicted to return to the upward trajectory. This prospect is supported by the improvement in the global economy, the increase in domestic productivity as a result of structural reform, including the acceleration of economic and financial digitalization, reform of the money market, and strengthening of small, medium enterprise sectors. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the development of Syariah or halal economy and finance in Indonesia, including halal industry, greatly contributes to the overall Indonesia economic performance. The economic sectors in halal industry shows its resilience during pandemic. In line with the improvement in national business activities, Syariah business has been growing positively in the recovery phase. Last year, the growth of leading halal sectors such as halal food, Muslim fashion, and Muslim-friendly tourism reached about 2.1%. In line with the large contribution of Sharia economy to the national GDP, the Indonesian halal industry will be accelerating going forward. According to recent the Global Islamic Economic Report, Indonesia ranking in the Islamic economic and financial ecosystem development has risen significantly compared to 2018. It confirms that Indonesia have significant acceleration in development of Sharia economy and especially in the halal industry. In terms of modest fashion sectors, Indonesia is in a good position globally, which is ranked in the top 3 countries together with UAE and Turkey. While in halal food sector, the market share of Indonesia halal food reached 13% of the global market, which is the largest in the world. The trend of international trade between Indonesia and OIC member countries throughout 2021 also saw a significant recovery. Last year, in 2021, Indonesia export performance to OIC member countries increased 13.7% compared to the export value at the same period in 2020. From the demand side, as the largest Muslim population, Indonesia is a home to the world's largest domestic halal market. This population's domestic spending across halal products and services stood at around 180 billion US dollar in 2020 and expected to grow by 14.96% to reach around 282 billion US dollar by 2025. The share of the Sharia sectors in the national economy has also expanded over the past 5 consecutive years. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in an effort to develop and strengthen Sharia economic and financial ecosystem, we have scaled up our effort. As a breakthrough step in accelerating Sharia economic growth in Indonesia, National Committee for Islamic Economy and Finance, which is chaired directly by the President of Indonesia, has launched Master Plan for the Indonesia Sharia Economy and Finance for 2019-2024, with the main strategic pillars, which is one, strengthening the value chain with the focus on the sectors that are considered potential and highly competitive. Secondly, strengthening the Islamic financial sector. Third, strengthening the micro, small and medium enterprise sector as the main driver of the halal value chain. And fourth, strengthening digital economy, especially trade through e-commerce, marketplace, and also in financial sector through fintech, to encourage and accelerate the achievement of other strategies. We realize that tremendous effort and initiative are ineffective if they don't involve all interested parties. Therefore, Bank Indonesia, the government, and other agencies carry out synergy and cooperation to encourage development of Indonesia halal industry. The synergy is built upon the same spirit, the same vision to bring Indonesia halal as qualified global halal players. Today, this International Business Forum is held to share the Indonesia Halal Market Report findings that the halal industry sector in Indonesia has a tremendous global market potential. The forum will also share the information on how global community, UAE investors, as well as entrepreneurs in particular, can leverage the finding and Indonesia potential for mutual benefit. Therefore, this forum is expected to gather and facilitate Indonesian and global Syariah business actors, UAE business actors in particular, in initiating further business cooperation. With the global and economic development recovery process showing positive signals, the potential of Indonesia halal economy and policy synergies of related parties in development of Indonesia Syariah in financial sector is expected. It is expected that they can grow together to become part of the global halal industry. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, finally, please allow me to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude to Honorable Consul General Indonesia in Dubai, Honorable Chairman of Dinang Standard, and Honorable speakers for their willingness to share their expertise and knowledge for the betterment of Indonesia halal industry. My appreciation also goes to Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center and all parties for arranging this important forum and all participants for attending the forum. May Allah Almighty bestow us the strength and patience to fulfill our duty for better future of halal economy. Thank you very much, and I wish you all very successful and fruitful discussion in today's forum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Yuda Agun, for your insightful remarks. And before we continue with today's agenda, we would like to ask Mr. Yuda Agun, along with our distinguished guests and speakers, to participate in a virtual photo session. Mr. Rafiuddin Shiko, Mr. Arif Hartawan, Mr. Ali Karisma, Mr. Lutfi Hussain, Mr. Safta Nirwander, and Mr. Chandra Negara. Kindly join us in this session. So gentlemen, are you ready? In the count of 3, 2, 1. Can we have another one? So 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, we will proceed to the panel discussion session shortly. We look forward to an engaging and an eye-opening discussion on Indonesia's strength and potential in terms of the halal industry and market. To lead this upcoming session, it is my honor to introduce our moderator for today, Mr. Safta Nirwander. Before I hand the session over to our moderator, we would like to invite all participants to ask their questions and kindly engage actively. Please leave your questions in the Q&A box on your screens. on the feature provided in this webinar, and we will curate a few representative questions to be discussed. Assalamualaikum, Pak Sapta, how are you? Can you hear me well?
Yes, I hear you well, Iman. Thank you.
So nice to have you here. Thank you. Alhamdulillah. All right, so we will start this session without any delays. And for our on-ground and online audience, again, reminding you again, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A chat provided to you. All right, then, Pak Sapta, let's see you after the Q&A session, inshallah. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa syukurillah. La haula wa la quwata illa billahil azim. Excellencies, Consul General of Indonesia in Dubai, Pak Chandra, Excellencies, Deputy Governor, Pak Yuda Agung, who has been a very interesting keynote speaker, and of course my brother Yudin, from Dinas Standard, CEO of Dinas Standard, Pak Arif Hartawan from BI Dex, Pak Lutfi Hussein, Ali Karisma, and of course Iman. Thank you, Iman, for introducing me nicely. Today you look great. I think you use the cosmetic as a halal, isn't it? And more beautiful than daily. When I met you, that's cosmetic halal can improve something, right? First of all, I would like to thank Bank Indonesia for organizing this strategic event in collaborating, of course, Dinas Standard, our partner, and also Halal Lifestyle Center Indonesia. And of course, as chairman of Halal Life Center, I'm honored to be a moderator in this afternoon and morning session, afternoon in Jakarta, morning time in Dubai. Yeah, this is a very interesting subject to be discussed with us. The Forum Indonesia Halal Market and also the business opportunity home for halal Indonesia. Today we are all here through the screen, live from Indonesia and Dubai. We will disseminate or we will inform you about this Indonesia Halal Market Report 2021-2022, and this is also produced by Bank Indonesia, IHLC, of course, Dinas Standard, for the Halal Market 2021-22. I think this report also is aligned with the Indonesia Vision 2019-2024, and of course, it's also in line with the strategic message of the President Joko Widodo and of course Vice President K. Haji Maruf Amin, that Indonesia will be, yes, I just repeat, Indonesia will be the mecca of the halal industry for the global halal market. And I remind you, he stated also the timing is in 2024. Indonesia will be the center or will be the center of halal industry. The report, of course, functions like market research and market intelligence for all halal industry players to grasp potential national and global. I think this report is really strategic for the players, national and global. And the other things, Indonesia has to be transformed, as the key messages also from our leader, from the market target driver and to exporter target driver in the global halal industry. Or in simple statement, Indonesia has to be transformed from consumer country only to the producer. That means harmony, consumer and producer. Indeed, in Vision 2019 and 2024 is rationally approved since Indonesia has a strong economy and capacity to lead halal industry export and the global halal market parallel or in line with the statement or the keynote has been delivered by our Deputy Governor, Pak Yuda, just right now. A special thanks goes to Pak Peri Warjo, to Governor of Bank Indonesia, who continually support our activity, Dinas Standard and Lifestyle Center. And also, Pak Peri is mentioned in the Economic Forum Syariah 2021. Today or now we have to start focus on two sectors. This was modest patient and of course halal food related. That's why we invite there's two prominent speakers from modest patient player, Pak Ali Karisma, and then of course from Dubai and Indonesia, Pak from Lulu, Pak Lutfi Hussein. I think this maybe the two players can reflect how important the halal food related market and of course modest patient market in national and global. As has been mentioned also in the SDE report, halal food consumption in Indonesia is a value more than $1.6 billion. On the other hand, despite the increasing of Asian players in Indonesia, we are still importing and we still national sufficient for the modest patient. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you Brother Lutfi, then Brother Ali Karisma, and I hope today's webinar can enlighten our perspective, theoretically and of course practically applied to halal industry ground, global, and also especially to UIA market. Also, boost the players, small, medium enterprises, SMEs, and Indonesia to export and enlarge the market globally. All right, so for more true explanation about this report, I would like to invite my brother Rafi Rudin Siko, he's the Managing Director of Dinas Standard. I think I would like also to remind you who Mr. Rafi or Dinas Standard, who published the well-known State of Global Islamic Economy report, SDEA. SDEA is a very important report. I think this is one of the important report like references for the halal economy Syariah. I do hope that you will also find this report same quality. This is for the Indonesian market report. And of course, Mr. Arif Hartawan, the head of Syariah economy. Thank you for joining this event, Pak Arif Hartawan, Finance Department of Bank Indonesia. Yeah. Pak Rafi, how are you, Pak Rafi? Pak Rafi, you hear me?
And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam. How are you in Dubai? It's the morning time, right? It's a coffee time for you.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, selamat pagi from Dubai to all of you.
Yes.
We're still morning here.
Yeah.
And at the lovely Expo 2020 in Dubai, mashallah, which is still buzzing. And it's great to see
we missed that occasion, and maybe next time we still have 2 weeks ago, right? Okay, now let's start session with the report presentation with special discussion for our offline audience in Dubai, and of course also there is offline also in Jakarta, and also I would like to introduce you, and then Brother Rafi, you can start. This is really your times. You have 15 minutes to explain and enlighten and enrich the report and related with the market condition in global and also in national, made in Indonesia. Time is yours, brother.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everyone here in Dubai and online as well. It's a pleasure and honor, and I'd like to begin first of all by thanking His Excellency Pak Juda Agong, the Deputy Governor of Bank Indonesia, His Excellency Chandra Negara, the Consul General of Dubai in Dubai, UAE of Indonesia. It's great to see and have Pa Arif, Pa Lutfi, and Pa Ali and on the call. Look forward to a great discussion, as well as my dear brother Pa Sapta Nirwander. Wonderful to be part of this discussion. So begin in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And we begin also by sending our salawat to our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. It is an honor and a pleasure to have participated and contributed to this, inshallah, valuable contribution to developing Indonesia's halal economy opportunity, the Indonesia Halal Economy Report, working together with IHLC, Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center, with a very strong collaboration, I would say, with Bank Indonesia as well. So in our global work and our global coverage of the opportunity of the halal economy, there's no bigger market, there's no bigger space or economy that is going to benefit and contribute to this ecosystem. So we're very committed to seeing Indonesia's success in this space. And the opportunity, as you heard from His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, is indeed big. The question is, how do you convert this opportunity to be of further benefit to Indonesia and other countries across the world and the community? So with that, let me start with giving you a brief overview of the insights of the report. And I'd like to acknowledge that this report was developed by a very strong team of our analysts working closely with our colleagues at Bank Indonesia, as well as Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center. From our team, Iman Ali, who you heard has been the lead analyst from Bank Indonesia, Ms. Diana and other colleagues, and Pa Sapta's team certainly were all involved in this insight. So I'm merely a messenger of this great work. So if I can begin by giving you some of the key facts and findings from the report, so that we can have a great discussion subsequently. So if we start with the next slide, please. All right, so the purpose of the report, and I'll quickly skip forward just so I don't take too much time, is to provide the industry that is driving trade as well as for FDI into Indonesia to be a reference point in enabling both national, domestic development of the halal economy, as well as driving the global trade and investment opportunities. So you will see in the insights of the report, it's practical perspectives to the industry and to investors internationally who would look at the opportunity, the huge opportunity that the Indonesian market provides. So if we can go next, please. So to start off, as we heard from His Excellency, the Deputy Governor as well, this report has sized the consumer spending, the domestic spending of halal products in Indonesia to be $184 billion in 2020. When we say these halal market, it includes the food sector, fashion, pharmaceutical, cosmetics, media, and tourism. This doesn't include separately the Islamic financial institutions or Islamic finance assets, which is another whole area. But when we look at the industry side, which is really what we cover when we talk about halal products, and then halal services, which is tourism, media in particular, There are three key areas we looked at in the report. Number one is the opportunity of additional exports. Obviously, today, Indonesia already has a significant export market or export activity. However, we were looking in this report on both sizing it as well as identifying new additional areas of opportunities. When we look at the current state, existingly, we estimate about $8 billion of exports of halal products by Indonesia in 2020, while doing about $10 billion in import of halal products. So you can already see there's a net deficit when it comes to the halal trade in Indonesia. Meanwhile, we also estimated about $5 billion in investment activity in the halal economy sectors in 2020. So this gives us some high level numbers. When we look at the sectors, the product sectors, you can see from this screen, food is the biggest consumer market. So the estimates that you see here at the top right, food at 135 billion, that is the domestic spending on halal or Muslim consumer spending in Indonesia on food. And I just want to clarify, it doesn't mean all of this spending here reflects halal certified, but this is the spending, our estimate that would be subject to halal compliance. And you can see the impact of COVID-19, which relative to tourism, which obviously had across the board globally had the biggest impact between 2019 and 20. Food relatively did okay for Indonesia, although if you can see, cosmetics actually fared well relative to the other ones, meaning at least remaining in a positive territory. So if we can move on to the next slide. When we evaluate looking at the current state that you just saw, we looked at what are the core competency of Indonesia when it comes to the halal product markets, as well as what are the challenges that is limiting its ability to develop and be competitive. On the core competency side, indeed, one of the strongest asset is the fact that it is itself the largest domestic consumer market of halal products, representing about 11.34% of the roughly $2 trillion in global spending on halal related markets. So it would be a great perspective for investors, international investors, to look at Indonesia, and you see many of the investments that are happening in Indonesia today. FDI, just we know recently the announcement and the activity and around investments from the UAE and other GCC countries looking at Indonesia, given the fact that it is such a big market. Second, Indonesia also already has domestic champions that have potential to become global players when it comes to these halal product sectors. We know with Bank Indonesia, and we know the SME space is significant and major contributor to the economy. At the same time, we also believe the importance of the domestic champions in driving the overall growth and success of the space. And finally, Indonesia is one of the leading Islamic finance players. In particular, and Pasapta had highlighted the development of the fintech space. And we know through the consortium of financial institution, Linkaja, and other various fintechs are gaining prominence, and a lot of crowdfunding and other aspects of Islamic related fintech. And if I may say, it's actually not just fintech, but overall, if I can call it halal tech in the food and pharma and other cosmetic fashion space as well. On the challenges side, and this is the biggest point, is Indonesia's exports in halal products represent still minor 3% of the global exports of halal products. So this both is a challenge, but also an opportunity, meaning there's so much more that can be done. As you can see on the challenge side, Indonesia, the 9th largest supplier. It doesn't have any global champions when we look at the top 100 global food companies that are prominent in the halal space today, such as Nestle, Unilever, and others. We still have to see players such as Indofood, but many others to come up and be really take a significant role in that export portion, of which today it's only 3%. Saudi Arabia and UAE lead our ranking in the halal economy as an overall ecosystem. So Indonesia is right behind now, not too far, as we heard from the Excellency Deputy Governor. And I think this is indeed one of the major global markets where internationally we'll see the halal market develop. And then the Islamic finances convergence with halal economy sectors is also limited currently, although we see some developments, and I think there's a lot that can happen there. So if I move on. Yes. So in the report, we also map who are the current players across the value chain in Indonesia. On the left-hand side from the industry players across the value chain, from the retailers, from the manufacturers to the retailers, distributors. And indeed, there is a significant landscape and players who can certainly champion and drive the development of halal economy. And of course, there are hundreds of thousands of SMEs that are also part of this ecosystem. On the right-hand side, you see the ecosystem players, which are the service enablers such as logistics players, industrial hubs, agencies, Islamic financial institutions. You have governance bodies and regulators and industry associations and educational institutions, if I may add, that are not referenced here, but are certainly a big part of the ecosystem. So if I can move on. Just checking also time. All right. So in terms of the export, so to summarize, and this is the key learning from the report. If you would say what is new that this report presents to you as industry players or investors, we have identified an overall additional $5.1 billion in annual GDP growth contribution that the halal economy can provide through export growth, through FDI, and through import substitution. And you see the breakdown here. And let me just highlight a couple of things that may surprise. So the first part is that we identified an additional 3.6 billion in annual export opportunity, almost equally split between OIC countries, meaning Muslim majority countries, and non-OIC export opportunities of halal products. A lot of times it is assumed that the halal products are only going to Muslim majority countries, whereas we have in our analysis identified even non-Muslim majority countries as a major opportunity area for export of halal products. And you'll see it in the right-hand side of the table. The second is we estimated about $1 billion of additional import substitution opportunity and about $500 million annually in FDI impact. Overall, coming to about 5 billion. Now, the right-hand side is the real key, and we have detailed analysis in the report. But if we were to summarize which is the top additional new export category opportunities, you can see within food, fashion, pharma, cosmetics, and we're just showing the top ones. There's a list of top 10 per sector. You can see that animal and vegetable fat and oil exports can be additionally increased, in particular of $300 million. And you can see on the right-hand side which countries, both in OIC and non-OIC, can be expanded in terms of Indonesia's current exports versus new opportunities that you can see. We have representation on the panel today in the fashion sector as well, and it's and on the food and retail side with Lulu. So you can see apparel is also significant. In fact, that's the highest opportunity area. It's a single subsector with the top opportunities in UAE and Saudi. So, we're sitting in UAE, and I'll talk a little bit about the opportunities in particular in UAE next. But you can see that in the apparel, the expanding market opportunities within UAE, Saudi, and Turkey are the top new markets, as well as within Europe and North America, Germany, France, and US, where modest fashion is growing and it's a big segment. And then you see pharma and cosmetics on the list. So if I go next, and I'll conclude quick. So when we were talking about UAE, which is one of the key trade partners for Indonesia, currently we estimated importing of about $375 million worth of halal products. We see that the increase in the trade relations between UAE and Indonesia certainly can be linked to the halal products and market opportunities. Today, we know about $1.7 billion investment in the Indonesia Investment Authority by the UAE to support infrastructure projects and economic activities, shows the strong linkages the two nations have. And as you can see from our opportunity areas, particularly in apparel and cosmetics, UAE is in fact the number one opportunity market, new opportunity market for the halal product exports in these two particular sectors, as highlighted by our analysis. And if I want to also mention that these are not the only ones. This is the top one per sector category, and we have in the report, I believe, about top 10 per sector covered. So I think if I go to the next slide. Right. I will basically conclude with this. In the report, we have presented our overall halal economy development framework at a national level that we apply to countries across the world. And if you look at, there are 5 key aspects to it. One is driving the real opportunity of global expansion, which is an interest of Bank Indonesia to support in terms of driving export, driving trade. And then the second is developing domestic proposition, which you see on the top right-hand side, so that you can facilitate import substitution, you can facilitate more local development and hence contribute to foreign exchange impact. So those are the two. And then the bottom 3 are enabling. What do you need as an ecosystem to be an overall strong national halal economy? And so the bottom 3 are government commitment, production capabilities, and operational support ecosystem. So in these, we see, you see on the left-hand side, a rating and analysis of the current strengths and where Indonesia needs to develop strongly. Overall, we see very strong government commitment now, as is evidenced by Bank Indonesia's strong interest in driving the halal economy as a growth driver for Indonesia, the establishment of KNEKS, the regulations, and the support by the private sector and financial institutions. So that is in fact, a strength right now when we look at the global players. On the production capability side, I think that's where we see the least and the least current strength and needs to be developed. Domestic production is currently, while there is strong demand and there is investment interest, the quality and competitiveness of the products is something that needs to be looked at. And in terms of driving export trade and enabling global champions from Indonesia is another important area to look at. And again, the report details out the areas to consider. I believe with that, I will conclude. If I can go to the next slide, please.
Yeah. I think, yes, Brother Rapi, you have to conclude. You have, yes.
Thank you so much. Yes, I think, and look forward to our further discussion.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Brother Rapi. You have been demonstrated how important the Indonesian domestic player had a potential to be global players. Not only in the what we call OIC countries. Traditionally, you have the market in the OIC country, but in the report we have mentioned also in the what we call non-OIC country. And just before I handing over to Pak Arif, I just would like to emphasize, or would to more deeply ask to you, since you mentioned also Indonesia has potential to be global player in non-OIC market, but in OIC market, non-OIC market is a very competitive market for Indonesia. What you do suggest that can be realistic, or we can penetrate this non-IC market such in Europe, and you know this is a big market also. Please, Brother, a few words where we can have
I was just Thank you, Pastor. I was just looking at the fact that the digital revolution in Indonesia and the growth of the unicorns and with the merger of Gojek and Tokopedia, with forming one of the largest super app players globally. And then you have other significant e-commerce players and digital footprint. And I think this is a significant asset that can be developed in linking to the other non-OIC markets as well, in addition to the traditional routes of engaging with those targeted markets. As you saw and see in the report, even with non-OIC countries, we have highlighted which particular countries in non-OIC would be the best fit for Indonesian products in fashion or cosmetics and others. And I think the industry associations or the larger champion players should be looking at those markets, would be our broad high-level 30,000-foot recommendation. Obviously, you have to do a deep dive market analysis of the product market fit. But with the exciting entrepreneurship ecosystem in Indonesia, I think there's definitely a lot that can be done when it comes to those non-OIC markets.
Thank you, Brother Rafi. I think we can discuss later on in the discussion time. I just want to remind the audience in online. You can prepare your question and chat box, or our guests in Dubai or Indonesia. You can also prepare the question. Now I think I would like to invite our Director of Economy and Syariah Central Bank of Indonesia, Pak Arif Hartawan. The time is yours, Pak Hartawan, and you can maybe elaborate or explain how Indonesia can fit or can take this opportunity to be a global player, not only for the champion, the big industry, but also in the SMEs. Sin Bank of Indonesia has also many partnership in the SMEs area, particularly in the halal industry. Please, Pak, for the time is yours, Pak Arif.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Moderator Dr. Sapta Nirwandar, His Excellency Consul General Pak Chandra, His Excellency Deputy Governor Pak Yuda Agung. It's been an honor for me to be here in this very important business forum, Indonesia Halal Market, home for halal business. And also very good morning to other speakers and all of the audience, both in the Dubai and audience all over the world who watch this event online. Let me start by echoing the current Indonesia position in the global halal industry, as already mentioned by His Excellency Deputy Governor Yuda Agung in the beginning, and also explaining more by Mr. Rafi from Dinas Tanah. Indonesia is gaining momentum for Syariah business in the world, especially in the last 3 years. And the Global Islamic Economy Report stated that it has been proven that Indonesia has made significant acceleration in the development of the Syariah economy and finance ecosystem, including halal industry. So, for make it more concise, let's go to the slide number 7. Now, let me explain more detail about what Indonesia has been preparing to accelerate Syariah economy and finance in the role of Bank Indonesia in this area. The story is started in 2014, where there is an increasing concern within BI, Bank Indonesia on Syariah, since we made the first Indonesia Syariah Economic Festival in Surabaya, East Java. And after 3 years of annual festival, BI introduced a framework policy for developing Indonesia Syariah economy and finance in 2017. And this blueprint became the embryo of the birth of the Indonesian Islamic Economic Master Plan. Next slide, please. Yes. Which has launched by our presidents as the main guideline to develop Indonesia Syariah economy and finance. One important step is already mentioned also by Mr. Rafi, is the establishing National Committee on Syariah Economy and Finance, and consists of key ministries in Bank Indonesia, as well as Indonesia Ulama Association and Indonesia Business Chambers. From Bank Indonesia side, we support the National Committee through various channels. Yeah. Slide number 10, please. First, the importance to expand the actors, those who will be the consumer for Syariah product and services, to strengthen institutional aspects such as facilitating for getting legal entity and supporting infrastructures, especially in the leading sectors of sustainable halal food and modest fashion. Secondly, in slide number 11, BI as a regulator in money market provide policies for deepening the Syariah money market in order to support Syariah financing, developing foreign exchange instruments, and introducing BI Sukuk, which can be used by Syariah banking to manage their liquidity. BI also support for increasing the optimization of Islamic social finance as an alternative source of financing, especially through productive wakaf. We already have cash wakaf link sukuk, and now we are still working on enhancing another kind of productive wakaf in order to enlarge the benefit of Syariah social financing in Indonesia. The third role of Bank Indonesia is providing business linkage and showcasing progress in a series of Syariah regional festival, because Indonesia is an archipelago country, so we could conduct Syariah festival or fair in Sumatra Island, fair in Java Island, and also fair or Syariah festival in eastern part of Indonesia. Those regional event of Syariah festival is becoming route to Indonesia Syariah Economic Festival or ISEF, which main agenda will be held on October every year. Now, Indonesia Syariah Economic Festival is becoming more important not only as the media for showcasing the progress of Syariah program in Indonesia and promoting business linkage domestically, but also becoming international Syariah agenda for discussing international Syariah issues through international workshop and seminars. Slide number 13, in addition, Bank Indonesia also strengthening the Center of Excellence in Islamic Economics and Finance through collaboration with several reputable universities in designing Syariah economy and finance curriculum and reference book for bachelor and master degree, as well as our contribution to set up zakat and wakaf core principles. Now let me turn to explain the importance of digitalization in accelerating halal ecosystem in Indonesia. In the 4.0 era, the use of digital technology is important in accelerating the development of the halal ecosystem, especially in supporting the end-to-end halal process traceability, both from the product dimension or the real sector as well as the financing dimension. This year, one of the quick wins by National Committee is initiating the development of the international trade ecosystem. This initiative is focusing on tracing export data by developing harmonized system halal code harmonization. This approach will also facilitate cross-border halal product trade, more accurate and reliable information. Furthermore, in the slide 14, the development of the halal industry area is one of the strategic initiatives of the government of Indonesia to increase the effectiveness and efficiency of the halal product process to strengthen the halal value chain from upstream to downstream, end-to-end process and halal industries area that have been prepared, including modern halal valley, halal industrial park, Sidoarjo in East Java, and Bintan Inti Halal Hub. So institutional strengthening is carried out, among others, through the establishment of Halal Center at the Ministry of Industry. In addition, facilitation of acceleration of halal certification is also carried out by various ministries and institutions, including the support from Bank Indonesia. Slide number 15, the Indonesia Syariah Creative Industry, or ICRA, is an end-to-end Indonesia Syariah creative business development program in the food and fashion sector to increase the competitiveness of business actors and product in national and global market. And ICRA Indonesia aims to increase the penetration of Indonesia featured and best Syariah business products so that they are able to penetrate and compete in the global market and increase collaboration opportunities among Syariah business actors. To make the strategy completed, Indonesia has been starting the establishment of Global Halal Hub. Slide number 16. The objective of the Global Halal Hub is basically synergized ecosystem, which is connecting the dot of serious activities from upstream to downstream and linkaging the domestic ecosystem end-to-end with the global supply chain Syariah market. There are all 8 ecosystems which is being synergized within Global Halal Hub, starting from data information, halal product curation, training, mentoring, brand invention, certification and legal aspect, local global market orientation, capital investment, and also the important part is logistic. Having explaining about what Bank Indonesia and Indonesian government and other important stakeholders have done so far, let me close my presentation by emphasizing 4 important aspects. First, BI, the slide number 17, BI together with the Indonesian government and relevant stakeholders are very serious in developing Syariah economy and finance in Indonesia by having the vision of becoming Indonesia as the world leading Syariah product and services. Second, the strategy adapted, creating end-to-end ecosystem and optimizing the power of we, or Jama'ah. The ecosystem is starting from strengthening in the upstream sectors, and then also including institutional strengthening of small medium enterprises, developing entrepreneurship at Islamic boarding school or pesantren, as well as connecting their specific business activities through business association or of pesantren or heavy trend, accelerating Syariah compliance such as halal certification, including market access, providing financial support, both commercial and social Syariah. The series of events in Dubai is expected to attract more parties who are willing to work together in accelerating the development of Syariah product and services in Indonesia, including Middle East investors and Indonesia diaspora. Fourth, I think it is the right time to invest in Syariah product and services in Indonesia so that we become a product producer Syariah country, not the consumer, ya Pak Nirwanda. Since Indonesia has the abundant resources and talent people, conducive environment for developing Syariah economy and finance, as well as strong support from government and related authorities. That's my presentation. I hope it also make it clear what's going on in Indonesia. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Arif Hartawan. It's a very enlightening presentation, and of course, more precisely, the role of Central Bank of Indonesia to promoting halal industry, and not only halal industry, but you have also Bank Indonesia has created what we call ecosystem. Pak Peri said we created the community berjamaah in order to really to gain or to boosting the halal industry to be the global player. I just would like to maybe ask you, before I'm handing to the two players, Pak Arif, how you can, what do you think, how you can really fit on this market report research and has been supporting also by Bank Indonesia, to really on implementation on the ground in order really to transform the local champion like SMEs, also corporate company, to be really the global players. I think the Brother Rafi indicated we have the potential, always the potential, how we transform from this potential to be really the real player. I think how we can really implement this report based on this report to the real one, to the ground, on the ground one. Pak Arif, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pak Sapta. I think the report is becoming our reference, a very important reference to know where we are now compared to other countries. And then studied by Dinar standard is very important information. So we know what should we do, how to, catching with the other countries, and we can knowing what is the challenging and also the requirements so that we can, doing the same level with others, especially Malaysia, Middle East countries. So we can, having a very fruitful information from the Dinar Standard report. And then from this report, we also can, stimulate our SMEs and also big players in Indonesia to be a global market, not only, winning in the domestic market, but also become the global players. I think this is one thing that we can do from this meeting, and then also from the report is very important for us to know where we are and how we achieve the mission. Thank you, Pak Sapta.
One more, because we have
Yes.
still time. This time is allocated for you. The second one is, since you are head of Syariah Economic and Financial Department, right? How we can harmonize? Sometimes there's lack from industry side and financial. Financial, they're doing their job, good one, but how we can make linkage between the halal, or we can say the sectorial in the banker sector, the bank sector or the finance sector. How we combine together, and then we can develop together, and we can move on these two sectors harmoniously. Thank you, Pak.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Sapta. Yeah, we are very lucky. Finally, we have a very good conductor. Yeah, we need somebody who, orchestra try to, mobilize and focusing by the national committee, Pak. So this is something that very important to make it, balance and also move at the same direction. So the conductor is doing the very good job. So we frequently have a meeting with them, and then we discuss many things, Pak. Of course, from Bank Indonesia, we share our expertise and our ability to do the financial market development in Syariah. Yeah. Also, we share how we do in promoting small medium enterprises. But in the real sectors, we are lucky, Pak. Now every ministries have almost every ministries have their representative in the national committee. And from that, we know, I've already mentioned about, we have industrial park or industrial area where the industry Syariah can, doing business, one-stop shopping, one-stop service in this area. So I think it's very good sign that from real sectors and the financial sectors is moving in one direction, hand in hand, Pak. Mungkin itu. That's my response, Pak. We are lucky we have a committee.
Thank you, Pak Arif. I think that's very clear explanation about the real sector and financial. I think just experiencing, Brother Rafi, when you are in Jakarta, is the biggest event like ISEF, Indonesia Syariah Economic Festival, organized by Bank Indonesia. There's also term reflecting of Jamaah. Then we move together in many sectors related with the halal industry, halal economy. Okay, I think I don't want to abuse my time to ask Pak Arif, then I think we have a time to discuss later on after these two players will be on our screen. First thing is my brother Ali Karisma. Mana Pak Ali Karisma?
Halo Pak, Assalamualaikum Pak Sabta.
Waalaikumsalam. How are you Pak Ali?
I'm very well, thank you Pak Sabta.
Okay, thank you Pak Ali. And then of course my brother Lutfi. Pak Lutfi, where are you Pak Lutfi? How are you?
Hi Pak, Assalamualaikum. Hi, I'm great, thank you.
Thank you. Pak Ali Karisma is the chairman of Indonesia Fashion Chamber. It's a deal with the modest fashion and business related to modest fashion. I think he's a long experience in this matter. And of course, Pak Lutfi Hussein is the corporate affairs director of Lulu Group Retail in Indonesia. Of course, Lulu also is a big group in over the world. I think it's also opportunity to us to have Pak Lutfi in this time in seminar of halal report market. And then welcome, and the time is yours to Pak Ali and Pak Lutfi. Yes, I think Pak Ali you will start first to explain or to respond about the market report has been explaining by at least three our speaker, keynote speaker by Pak Yoga, and then after that Rafi has been explained long about this report, and of course also not in additional but also in more stronger also remarks from Arif Hartawan, and of course related with the report. What do you think about this report, and how modest fashion can also contribute strongly to boost global and to be the global player? Monggo, Mas Ali Karisma. Please.
Thank you, Pak Sabta. I would like to say thanks thank you for the excellency to give this opportunity, Mr. Juda Agung, Mr. Arif Hartawan, Mr. Rafi Udin, and Pak Sabta Nirwandar, of course, and Mas Lutfi Hussein. I hope you all well, and I will like to explain about Indonesian fashion's opportunity, especially in modest fashion. I think it's very clear in the reports that the opportunity are very, very promising in Indonesia. But also in this opportunity, I would like to remind everyone that fashion industry is second polluted industry after oil. So there is a problem, but Indonesia are ready to solve that problem in the fashion industry with a sustainable fashion concept. So sustainable fashion in Indonesia are very, very important at the moment. Sustainable fashions as important as the problem because we saw what happened in the world that the fashion industry is becoming faster and faster and faster that harming the environments. And it's not only that, and it will harming more if we not doing anything or something. In this occasion, I would like to present that Indonesia are ready for that. It's because number one, the government support are very strong for the program. Especially today, we already hear there is Indonesia Ekonomi Syariah, and there is also program IKRA. IKRA is Creative Economy Syariah. On this program, fashion industry are very strong, and food, of course, are very strongly have a lot of program, and mostly we are getting ready how Indonesia can be Indonesia fashion can grow through sustainable fashions. The potential sustainable fashion in Indonesia are very big because we have a lot of diversity of textile, like a traditional textile, which only in Indonesia have this kind of textile, and we can develop unique to slow down the fast fashion in the world. And this one, I think, can be huge opportunity for not only for Indonesia, but for the world to develop modest fashion in Indonesia. And of course, we are a huge market as well in Indonesia, and we also have a support from the big manufacturing company as well. Not only, I mean, in Indonesia is dominated with the small, medium enterprise, of course, but we also have a lot of big manufacturing company to support this program if you are willing to work together with us. So I think, Pak Sapta, I will not speak a lot more, but in terms of the player of fashion, we are ready to collaborate with the world, especially with UAE that I think have a huge potential collaboration with Indonesia. Thank you for this opportunity. And if you have any other question about the Indonesians modest fashions development in Indonesia, we love and we'll be very happy to answer and help to find the solution so we can collaborate and work together with Indonesian fashion industry. Thank you, Pak Sapta, once again, and we'll catch you soon.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, brother Pak Sali. Only just before we, of course, we give the opportunity to the audience in chat box or directly from Dubai to ask you about the modest patient. But let I, as a moderator, to also really want to emphasize more the information from your side. First thing, what's the real or what's the real problem or the real challenge for the modest fashion in Indonesia goes global? Because in SGA report we are still lower ranking compared with the Turkey, UAE, and etc. What's the real challenge for you as a player of modest fashion, please?
Yeah, the challenge is actually intern or local market are big, Pak Sapta. Indonesian local market is very big, Sometimes to start go globals, we cannot go directly with the huge productions or something like this. So a lot of big player are still interest, or we are still what do you say in Indonesia? We still see the local market as is growing, keep growing. So we don't really see the potential international global market are more potential. This is one of the problem also. So the bigger player are still in the modest fashion, especially we have like maybe 10 or around 10 and 15 biggest players in Indonesia. They still focusing on the local market because there is still developed so much. This is reflecting that for the international that we have a huge market in Indonesia. Secondly, the international, they don't see our potentials as a fashion product, because at the moment we are in the world are flirting with a fast fashion from other country that they are competing in the price, not the quality. That we hope Indonesia can, for the future, can compete with the quality. This is also another challenge that the international fashion player, they don't see our potential or our quality are different than this fast fashions, the country that produce fast fashion, Pak Sapta. And I think for now, I think there is not much to be, there is not so much a problem or to go global, because with the digital platform and marketings, we can connect to the world, Pak Sapta. So I think we are now ready, as Pak Sapta said, 2024. I think fashion industry also will be ready for global market, as hopefully Indonesia also become one of the destination for fashions in the world.
Okay, thank you, Mas Ali, for this first reaction for this, my question. I think I would like to now to invite the one important also sector reflecting in the report. This is about halal food related. Halal food related, because Indonesia is a big and a huge spending for the halal food. And then I would like to invite Mas Lutfi Hussein to share his what is experience, since he's managing director of Lulu Retail Indonesia, of course connecting with the Lulu Dubai. As in my experience, Lulu has what is a supermarket or mall in more than 100 countries. Wow, that's important. Please, Mas Lutfi, Pak Lutfi, to share your thoughts, your experience, how Indonesia also can be in food sector, in food related sector, be the not national player also, but export and global player. Please, time is yours.
Thank you. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. All praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and peace be upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum again to you, respected Honorable Consul General of Indonesia in Dubai, Mr. Chandra Negara, Honorable Deputy Governor of Bank Indonesia, Mr. Yuda Agung, Honorable Head of Sharia Economy and Finance Department, Mr. Arif Hartawan, Chairman, Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center, my dear Bapak Mr. Sapta Nirwandar, CEO and Managing Director of Dinar Standard, Mr. Rafiuddin Sko, Chairman of Indonesian Fashion Chamber, Mr. Ali Karizma, and Iman, of course. Alhamdulillah, it's my honor and privilege to be online here and to participate in this business forum as part of the Bank Indonesia Special Week in Expo 2020 Dubai. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Lutfi Hussein. I'm the Corporate Affairs Director at Lulu Group Retail in Indonesia. I foresee and help the expansion of Lulu Hypermarkets operations in Indonesia alongside with the export and import operations. Lulu are present in 22 countries and have 227 outlets. And inshallah soon we are opening our 6th branch in Indonesia. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We have many developments in many sectors in the halal industry in Indonesia. With small, medium enterprises via many institutions, including Bank Indonesia via DexBI, with Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Small, Medium Enterprises, and we even work with private halal institution and even tech industry startups. And we as a company really happy to see the Indonesia's strong progress in Sharia and halal economic development from Bank Indonesia, and there's now Bank Syariah Indonesia, Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center, and many more, and even all the way to tech industries. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, we have seen so many talents now in Indonesia, where indeed are blessed with abundance of competitive human resources, talented young generations, and who will very well tech adapt, which can be very important key elements to compete in the global market. And with that being said, this business linkage is very, very beneficial for everyone in the industry, including Lulu. And to conclude, that as a retail company, we are hoping that we can be the bridge of Indonesian halal products to be sold not just in Indonesia, not just in the Middle East, but also in other countries across the world. Thank you. That is all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Shukran. Thank you so much, Pak Lutfi. Nice statement. I think you are not talented in the business. You have such a potential to be the politician.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. But I just want to really discuss you before I hand over to the other question, or I give the chance to the other audience to ask you.
Okay.
What do you think about the Indonesian food? What's really not really the challenge, but what will be the main halal sector, food sector, really to be competitive to other sector in the world? Because Thailand already declared about it. What is a cuisine or food, global food, halal food. Korea also there's halal food, and then of course the other country also has produced the strong halal food. And then they use also the technology, they use also the new packaging and etc. What will be for the Indonesia in that case?
Thank you for your question, sir. In my personal opinion is that we as a producer in Indonesia need to be aware about what's the situation globally. And because the factor to compete globally in halal sectors is not just having a good quality products, but there are many other sectors that could benefit for your competitiveness in the world. Let's say the logistics supply chain aspect. Let's say the location, the supply trade aspect. With that being said, all the producers in Indonesia needs to know what are the other countries are doing and how are their products in comparison to the Indonesian products that is being produced here. Because we are, as a Lulu ourselves, we are facing few issues sometimes that we were not aware that the competitive products that is produced in Indonesia, we thought is the best quality, the best price. But once we export it to the Middle East, turns out the similar products from other countries have in a much more competitive price. And that has many aspects. Production aspect or their location aspect is closer to the Middle East, or even government free trade agreement. That could really be key factors. So I just want to remind to all the players in this industry to be more sensible and to see in other different perspectives so that we can have more competitive advantage. And of course, the support from Indonesian government is crucial. Thank you very much.
Yeah, what I think takes from your side that has to be competitive is we have to think about from food, from farm until the packaging, right? The halal supply ecosystem and the role of the government. That's I could summarize what you have been stated, right? That's true. It's correct. Okay, and then this is practical question. There actually also there is important about certification. What do you think, Brother Lutfi, about certification, halal certification?
Thank you for your questions. As a part of halal industry players in Indonesia, we also have been monitoring the progress here. And now I believe the government has making very, very significant and efficient progress for halal certification in Indonesia. Now it's under GAPH and can co-work with MUI, with Surveyor, and recently just revamping the logo. And I feel that our government has taken significant step in order for our halal certification to be known, to be respected globally. And I'm fully support what the government is doing right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Lutfi. Don't go away. I'm sure we have more question from the audience, in Dubai. Also, a question from chat box. I will start to read from the chat box. This is first question to Brother Rapiuddin. Brother Rapi, be prepared. This question is very tough question from Ibu Lestari, from Indonesia, of course. His question to Brother Rapi is after has been seen your presentation or your report, you said that the important thing is food and fashion. What is the next other sector important for Indonesia in halal, for halal industry stakeholder? This the question for you, and then after that, there is question also for Papa Arif Hartawan. I think Brother Rafi first, please.
Sure, thank you. So quick response. Obviously, I will say read the report, and you'll have our analytical answer to this. But as you can see in the report, we have other sectors, in particular cosmetics, highlighted, as well as pharmaceutical. Because when we talk about the halal supply chain, there's a big gap in the global supply chain of ingredients for pharmaceutical and cosmetic products. And today, even the top cosmetic players, that may be L'Oreal and all of the global ones, they are subject to ingredient shortage when it comes to cosmetic ingredients that go into any. And we know there's a great brand champion from Indonesia, Wardah, which we are all quite proud of and look to have it here in the region when we don't today. So all of the sectors mentioned in the Halal Economy Report, pharmaceutical, cosmetics, even media and recreation, there's with the COVID-19, as we all know, entertainment and recreation has been digitized. We're all moving into a more virtual digital world. So a lot of media recreation opportunities as well, besides the food and finance sectors and fashion that we've already talked about. Thank you, Pasap.
Thank you, Brother Rafi. That's true. Using the cosmetic, Indonesian cosmetic like Master Ceremony Iman is a makeup with the Wardah. You can see it look great than before. That's fantastic for Wardah cosmetic. That's just promotion for Indonesian cosmetic related to the modest patient, Ali. Okay, just to Pak Arif Hartawan, this is a question for you, Pak Arif. This is from Bobby Kusnandar, from Indonesia, of course. He asked about to you is about penetration of Islamic finance and bank. They said it's still lower side than expecting. how the policies, the government policy, especially of course central bank, to increase the penetration of banking sector in Indonesia, especially for the halal industry. Pak.
Thank you. Thank you for the question, Pak Sapta and Pak Bobby. Of course, from our side, we have explained that we first increasing the number of passengers, the one who want to use the consumer, want to use this product, the Syariah banking, by many things. We do the literacy, we do campaign, we do try to to change the people habit, and understanding that more better to use the Syariah product, including the banking sectors. So at least in my department, I encourage my employee to open account in Syariah banking. Even me, and then my wife also try to start from the family side, from the small scope, start from our individual and showing lead by example. And then I hope that by doing this strong and consistent with campaign, we do that good sign. And also I think the merger of Syariah between Bank Negara, Bank Mandiri, and BRI, and they have a very huge Bank Syariah in BSI. We have a very huge Bank Syariah. I think it's now is very good, and then easy to access by people because they have a mobile banking also introduced, so they can open account even just from their home. No need to come to the bank. So I think something that's innovative in this product, it will be, make people more easier to get in touch with the banking product with Syariah. Thank you, Pak Sapta.
Thank you, Pak Arif. That's a very good answer. Of course, there is a question also to Pak Ali. Pak Ali, this is from the chat box. Given the situation of Indonesia and global participation, how do you see the relevance of this your presentation and this in the current industry? Of course, for the most participation current industry. This is from the chat box, please.
Thank you, Pak Sapta. If I understand correctly, I think Indonesian's fashion industry, especially modest fashion now in Indonesia, are tapping or look close with international fashion trends. So we are also not only developing how we wear our modest fashion in Indonesia, but we also tapping closely to what happening internationally. That's why hopefully with in our association and also the program that the governor already develops, which is I see very strong opportunity in IKRA, Indonesia Syariah Ekonomi Kreatif, especially in the fashion sector. We can lead or can collaborate with the any other country who want to work with us. So I think we are very keen or very open-minded to many other market opportunity in the world. So I think our fashions is not only one look or one type of fashions. We have so many diverse, from the streetwear until the Sarai wear. The one is really covered, and the one we use for daily or streetwear as a non-modest fashion also use. So we are here and we are we are ready, Pak Sapta. I think we are very current in the trend-wise or development-wise.
Thank you, Pak Ali. There's one more question to Pak Lutfi before I give a chance to the audience in Dubai to ask directly to the panelists. I think this, of course, the question to Pak Lutfi. This is a more technical question from Ibu Yanti, especially for product in Lulu supermarket. There is really sources autonomy. I don't know what's the mean sources autonomy, especially happen in Malaysia, maybe in Indonesia. You have that means maybe if the product in Indonesia, in Lulu Indonesia has to be product from Indonesia or Malaysia from Malaysia. There is no inter-exchange between Lulu in Jakarta in Malaysia, or the opposite. There can be inter-exchange for product from Indonesia. We can sell to Malaysia, or we can sell to Dubai and etc. Please, Pak Lutfi.
Okay, thank you for the question. Actually, for our operations here, we are inter-exchange. So there were cases from a vendor supplier in Indonesia. Originally, they sold their products in Lulu, Indonesia. After a few developments, they managed to export the same exact products to Lulu in Middle East. So Lulu actually can be a window for all the vendors in Indonesia to have the opportunity to export their products in GCC countries and other Muslim countries. Please kindly know. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's clear. That's the possibility to interaction between two Lulu, two countries, or 221 countries. Okay, I need help from Iman. Where is Iman? Iman.
Here I am. Yes,
please,
yes.
If there is direct question from audience in Dubai to our panelists, whoever, they can ask directly, and then you can manage, and then the question to these panelists. Please, Iman.
Okay, sure, Pak Sapta.
Before that, you use really the Wardah cosmetic from Indonesia? Your makeup is Wardah?
Thank you for your kind words and overwhelming me. Halal cosmetics here.
You don't use yet.
Okay.
I will give you a present from Wardah.
Oh, that's so sweet. Done.
Please.
Recorded.
Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. So our ladies and gentlemen, if you do have questions, sorry for the inconvenience, but I'll have to ask you to come here and ask because we have the camera here. So if you don't mind. Thank you. Please do introduce yourself.
Thank you. Good morning or good afternoon in Jakarta, Pak Sapta. This is Made Martini, Pak. Good to see you again. I have a question to Pak Raffi. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have not read the report, but I will. Don't worry. I'm from Ministry of Trade. I'm the pavilion director at the moment for 2 weeks. So it's a pleasure and honor to have you here. I think this is a great opportunity, the topic and area of importance for Indonesia and focus actually in our economy. I have a question related to, of course, my field, right? Export, promotion, and so on. In the report, because I haven't read, what would be, I want to take up from Pak Sapta's earlier comment about challenges, but I want to ask more about the breakthrough. Yeah, what are the breakthrough usually in other markets or economy in order to, for this global, for these halal products and services to go global that you highlight in your report? Because to be frank, we are just started in Indonesia, but we have, I think, a good pathway and a good target to get in by 2024 to be the global halal center, including fashion, of course. That's why yesterday we had a fashion show. But I want to know what are, if you can say one or two breakthrough or milestone that we need as a government and stakeholders to have in order for Indonesia to be able to be the one of the top players in the world. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Please, Raffi, Doctor.
So, as mentioned, Indonesia already has very strong advantages. But in your area of focus of driving trade, in particular export out of Indonesia, and so we'll focus on that. We are seeing, if we look at what's happening around the world right now, we're talking about the Ukrainian crisis. We have gone through the COVID disruption in the global supply chain. So one of the things, and I have my colleagues here, and we're seeing a tremendous change in supply chain in the region, in particular the OIC, or Muslim majority countries. So Indonesia is already a leading nation of the OIC, as you know. When we look at the various bodies within OIC, one in particular we're working with is around food security. So there is, with all of this disruption that the world is facing, the food supply chain is being disrupted. It's being driven by a lot of food security concerns, as we know, with the immediate crisis we're seeing in the world. It's also creating opportunities. So today, the supply chain of halal products, and most of the Muslim majority countries are net import food countries. And in fact, halal products, out of the 10 top exporters, as we all know, commonly we refer to in the report also, top 7 are non-Muslim majority countries. So as far out as US, Brazil, countries that are way far are now the top exporters traditionally, but that is being disrupted. And I think that's where there is the opportunity, if I can highlight one of the things for Indonesian industry players to really, and the government to take the next step. As we've heard already, there's tremendous support now by the government. You have Bank Indonesia, we have KNIKS, we have industry associations like IHLC and others who are really providing the ecosystem. Now I think it's up to the industry to really take the next step. So that's one. Second, I would map these opportunities to the champions that you already have. So I know there's a big focus on SMEs, and Brother Lutfi really gave a good example of the power of the bigger players, of what a player like Lulu Market or maybe Hero and others can do to the supply chain from Indonesia to bring them out in the world. Because SMEs, and I was speaking to one of the colleagues at Bank Indonesia, is such a powerful force of your economy, but for helping them enable to contribute to trade and export, you really need your bigger champions to drive it. So engaging the bigger players to galvanize the supply chain of Indonesia to the rest of the world, to the specific markets where there is opportunity, in particular OIC markets. And you'll see from our report when you read it, and we're happy to brief you further, that it's not just Muslim majority countries or OIC countries. Now, for Indonesia, equally important are non-Muslim majority countries where there is halal product demand as well. So I think these would be some pointers.
Thank you, Brother Rapi. That's an important question has been raised by Bu Made, is a director of international trade. You can imagine. That's a very good and tough question. Please.
So, Pak Sapta, do you want to take one more question offline?
Yes, you can take two, one and one. After that, you give me again to the chat box. All right, please.
Perfect. Do we have any other questions from our audiences here? Anyone would like to ask any question to our panelists?
Okay.
Okay, Pak Sapta, I think we don't have any questions offline on the ground. Perhaps you can take something online.
Yes, I think online. Then this is the question to Pa Lutfi, especially Pa Lutfi from audience. Pa Lutfi, how you can bring the champions product, especially in halal food, to the Lulu supermarket or to Lulu group of the world concretely? How you can emphasize, you can challenge Indonesian champion product halal food joining in your Lulu group? Thank you. This is the question.
Thank you, Mr. Sabda, for the question. To put it simply, in order for us to compete globally, if you have good quality products and a competitive price, I'm sure not just in halal market, in any market you could penetrate. And I believe that many Indonesian products can take this opportunity to take the advantage of Lulu, take advantage of the opening of a global market right now. So I believe if we can produce, can supply a good quality products with competitive price, I'm sure we can dominate the global market. Thank you.
Pak Lutfi, can you give the tip how we can make the quality and competitive price in Indonesian product? Normally, yeah, as you mentioned yourself, our product sometimes not competitive, it's not good quality. How you can give practical tip to?
Because, okay, I would like to give you our past experience, let's say with SME, okay? Because we're trying to help SME to have global exposure. We have developments with numbers of SMEs in Indonesia. We managed to export their products, but unfortunately, some of the producers lack of the quality assurance. We've experienced where our first shipment, our second shipment was really good, but our fourth, our fifth, and sixth shipment, we were given a much significant defected products. So with that being said, there needs to be a help from institutions, help from the government to educate, to aggregate all these hungry, aggressive Indonesian producers. So because the education that you give is not just for the economic aspect of it, but also for like the business mentality and the mindset and all other things. So I was hoping that I was just trying to say is that these SME producers, they will not be able to compete without the support of the big players, without the support of the institutions, without the support of the government. So, thank you.
Thank you, Baruti. Then, in other words, the SMEs has to be work hand in hands to support the big player, and the big player also has to be attached to support also the SMEs, right? That they
Correct.
work harmoniously, win solution, right? Because this is the philosophy of Berjamaah, I think. Iman, still time or we have finished? Because I saw that our Excellency Consul General there. Welcome, Pak Chandra, to this webinar, and thank you for your support. And then, Pak Rafi, you need to renew your visa. You just ask to Pak Consul General there. Okay, thank you, Pak Iman. Iman, there is already a times now, and still time.
No, I think we are running out of time, and perhaps we really want to hear from the Council General.
Okay,
so should we
just close? Thank you so much for the these for the panelists, and then of course also the answer, the reaction from the question from the from the audience. Still many these I had helping by my my partner here in Jakarta. There's Butila, there is also Tia and Astrid who have this webinar happen. Thank you for everyone, and of course still 100 maybe more than 100 or I don't know many questions. I think I will send to the panelists or even to Pak Arif, there's many questions to you to Bank. And thank you so much for your participation joining this very important forum. And Bu Made Martini, you have to invite Pak Lutfi to give a tip and maybe seminar how to improve the SMEs to join the big player. And thank you so much. I give the floor to, I send back the floor to Iman Ali. Please, Iman, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pak Sapta. Thank you, Pak Sapta, and our amazing panelists. Indeed, it was a very insightful discussion, and I could imagine there are so many more questions. But as Pak Sapta said, we could follow up with those questions. Before we close this session, I would like to invite the Consul General Indonesia in Dubai for his closing remarks and to bless our event. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Chandra Negara. Sir.
Much easier. So it will look better, picture of me. Thank you, Bu Iman. Good afternoon, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang saya hormati, yang saya muliakan, senior kami, mentor kami, Pak Sapta Nirwandar. Alhamdulillah, Pak, senang bisa bertemu Bapak walaupun jarak jauh. Semoga Bapak selalu sehat walafiat. Pak Juda Agung, Deputy Governor of Bank Indonesia. It's been a while, Pak, lama sekali nggak ketemu Bapak. Ibu Made Martini, it's always good to see you. Everywhere I see you. Pak Arif Hartawan, Head of Syariah Economy and Finance of the Finance Department of Bank Indonesia. Mr. Rafiuddin Shikoh, CEO and Managing Director of Dinar Standard. Pak Rafi, it's good to see you, Pak. Pak Lutfi Husin, Corporate Affairs Director of Lulu Hypermart Indonesia, and Pak Ali Harisma, Chairman of Indonesia Fashion Chamber. Bapak Ibu, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, yang kami hormati. It is an honor for me, it is truly an honor to say a few words to you all participants of the Business Forum Indonesia Halal Market, Home for Halal Business, which is organized hybrid today at the Business Lounge of the Pavilion of Indonesia at Dubai Expo 2020. I myself see this event as an important and timely to Indonesia and all parties concerned, because today we talk and discuss on halal market and products in the Expo and undertaken during this global event in Dubai. I do believe that this event will give positive and big impact to the halal market at global sphere from now onward. And secondly, also it is important to take note the importance of this event is that we organize this event amid a very challenging situation. First, we are now in the mid of or in the process of recovering our economy due to the pandemic, the COVID. Meanwhile, or at the same time, we also witness the recent development in global affairs, especially pertaining with safety and security in the global supply chains. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, for Indonesia as the largest Muslim country in the world, we produce and make many kinds of products. Certainly, we need to expand our product to all Muslim market. It is commonly accepted that as a leading Muslim country, Indonesia also should contribute as much as possible to the Muslim community in the world. In today's event, we have seen and listened a lot of views from speakers and experts from public institutions and private sectors. From Indonesia, we saw that Bank Indonesia, as Central Bank of Indonesia, has paid much attention on the Islamic economy and finance to fill in halal market in domestic market as well as overseas market globally. If you permit me, I'd like to contribute a little bit information to this forum that here in Dubai, I don't know whether it's been mentioned already or not, but we in Dubai, we are very proud to see the establishment of the BSI, the BSI Bank Syariah Indonesia branch in Dubai. Of course, since the 2nd of February, it's been operational as a promotional bank, but inshallah, hopefully in a very near future, Bank Syariah Indonesia will be able to perform here in Dubai as a fully branch. So it can provide lending, investment, or even we can open account here in Dubai. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, from private sector and research agency, Dinar Standard, we could see its contribution and view on the latest development of halal market in all aspects of products, from food products, halal drink and beverages, halal pharmaceutical products, to textile and Muslim fashion, including leather and accessories in the perspective of global market. The idea and initiative of Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center to organize this event and release of Indonesia Halal Market Report 2021-2022 in collaboration with Dinar Standard will be an international reference for halal market industry. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, as the theme of event, Indonesia Halal Market, Home for Halal Business, we can see how Indonesia is ready now to host halal business and investment in all over parts of the country. With a population of 270 million, and it is important to note here that more than 90% of our population is Muslim. We do believe that Indonesia can manufacture not only for its own people, but also to the need of people in United Arab Emirates, Middle East, North Africa, and subcontinent, and other part of the world. I've been here only for a year, but I can share here, I witnessed for the last year that Dubai especially is not only an important or strategic hub to MENA market or Middle East market and North Africa, but also South Asia market, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and then Pakistan, Bangladesh, and what? India, of course, the biggest market, and India. And in addition to that, I have seen how Dubai also becoming more and more important as the hub for the rest of the world. I visited our pavilion and many pavilion during the Gulf Food, for example, like 2-3 weeks ago. I met and I talked with importers, not only from MENA market or South Asia market, but also from Latin America and even North American market. I met a Canadian American business people. They're trying to find a source of food products to be imported to their respective market. So UAE, especially Dubai, is a very strategic hub for global market. As the largest economy in Southeast Asia, with GDP amounting to 1.2 trillion, and now we are holding the position. We are holding the presidency of G20. We can explore economy. We can explore all spectrums of halal market, as well as open its market to business people of Muslim country in the UAE and other Muslim country with our halal product. Friends, distinguished participant, it is also important to put in this equation the relationship between Indonesia and UAE that is now on its peak. We now trying to finish, inshallah. It's only less than 5% of the agreement, ya Bu? 99%, so it's less than 1%. Even less than 1%, we are finishing our SEPA. Indonesia and UAE is finishing our SEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. And inshallah, this agreement will be signed here in this pavilion by end of this March. Please, big applause to Ibu Made, who is leading our delegate, Indonesian delegate to the is it part of okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We can see also on the financial institution support. We can see the support in addition to Bank Indonesia. We can see how Dubai Islamic Bank, Sharjah Islamic Bank, and Emirates Islamic Bank, that can capture the market and compete with conventional bank. It is important how their development will be our benchmark to development of Sharia financial sector in Indonesia. With the combination of all spectrum of halal product and business, I'm very confident that halal market will grow and grow rapidly from now onward in the future. Lastly, in this a very important opportunity, I'd like to pay my gratitude and appreciation to the Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center, Pak Sabta, Bank Indonesia, Dinar Standard, which has cooperated closely and worked together for the successful of this business forum. And also my appreciation goes to Lulu Hypermarket Indonesia and Indonesia Fashion Chamber for their contribution to this event. Finally, I would like to thank you very much to all of the participants of this business forum, government officials, private sector, academia, researchers, business people, and entrepreneurs to the participation of this in this hybrid event in Dubai and Indonesia. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang and have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Chandra Nigara, for your warm regards, for your warm remarks for us. Thank you so much. And I would also like to acknowledge and thank Mr. Ahsan Afut, from Chairman of SMIC from Turkey, who's joined us online as well. Thank you, sir, for being there. So, alhamdulillah, we've come to the end of our forum, and it has been a very, very insightful, and I'm sure you all enjoyed and also took away some great insights from our discussion today. Before we conclude, a gentle reminder, you can find the report online on the link, which will be on the screen shortly. So please do download and have a look at our findings. And yeah, that's it. It was a wonderful day. Personally, I enjoyed it. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to our prestige guests for being here. Thank you all for being here. Terima kasih. Selamat beraktivitas.